Boom. Boom, boom.
We can drill them now.
You don't need to do that.
I don't mean it like, weird.
Yeah. Just my
Well, maybe I do, but let's see here.
Is College World Series on tonight?
they
is
already
that-
played today.
Oh, they did? Who won?
Tennessee.
Oh, so it's 1-1?
1-1, yeah.
All right. I watched last night. God, those games have been awesome.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that too. On the pod. Are you tagging everybody, Stinda?
Yep.
Oh man.
I saw there's some bar in Omaha right by the thing. Did you see it? And they had Jello shots, and they had all 8 teams that made it, and they had the tallies of every team that bought these $5 jelly shots. They were like 8,000 for like each team. Nuts.
That's insane.
I need to get out there for that again.
A lot of Jello. Yeah, Knox and I were talking about wanting to go to
Yeah, that'd be cool.
the College World Series.
I went a while ago, but I could go again.
I got a buddy that lives out in Omaha.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Brockett used to live out there.
I think still does. Have you
Does
seen
he?
pictures of that dude?
I talked to him. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd go out there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
They'd probably offer me a scholarship.
Jesus.
This thing right here, dude, I could still throw smoke. I've been throwing to our 5th and 6th graders, man.
What you up to like 70 now? Or
I
what?
bet I can still hit I could probably hit 70. But I've been throwing a ton of curveballs.
Jeez.
They can't hit them. They
You got
cannot
ice
hit
or
those
stuff
balls.
when you're
I would
done with that?
say. Tommy John surgery.
It's all right, man. I'm 36. I'll take it now. Give me some time
There
off
you go.
work.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No doubt.
You're going to be just turn into a second baseman then after Tommy John surgery.
I was not much of an infielder, man. I mean, I could probably do second. I don't know about short or third. No way. No.
All right. You want to go ahead and get started, Stenda? Or
Whenever you want to go, my man.
Yeah, let's roll. All right. So this is Beyond the Scoreboard podcast. This is episode number 20 already. We have sponsors as always. Adcraft with nice little t-shirts they've hooked us up with. Fatleet, as I'm wearing right now, the Beyond the Scoreboard jersey. Make sure you follow our Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you call it as well, and get us on there. We have our first guest that has appeared multiple times on the podcast. Mitch Phillips is the first person to be on here twice. So
What a legend.
We'll welcome Mitch Phillips here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't know if he probably doesn't want to do the whole introduction thing again like he did the last
we've
time.
already
right?
done
We've
that.
already done that, so we'll pass on that. But as we all know, Mitch is obviously local Comanche guy now, lives down the road from me. Our original guest had to back out at the last minute, and Mitch graciously filled in for him. So topics we have, I think Mitch will have good insight on today too, so it'll be a good fit. Ashford University, Mitch Phillips. Stinda said before we got on, he's the best baseball player in the Midwest, right?
Wrong.
Hands down, I've never seen anybody with quicker hands at the plate. And you watch them track a ball down the outfield. A lot of the comparisons to Ken Griffey Jr. and Jim Edmonds.
Damn, that's impressive there.
I don't think guys like that go to Ashford, but all right.
Probably not.
No,
they're just getting drafted usually, those guys, but
for sure.
And a slow pitch legend too, right, Sunda?
Oh, dude can do. I mean, literally, he can do it all. There's nothing he can't do.
Unreal.
I mean,
good guest here.
He's a very humble guy, as you guys can see, but sometimes you got to bring him out of their shell a little bit, and you got to be willing to talk about yourself a little bit, Mitch. So we're going to put you on the spotlight tonight, maybe a little bit throughout the show.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Let's get into our first topic here, and this is a topic that Mitch has involved with right now, but we're going to kind of go youth baseball realm here. Stenda is currently coaching a 5th and 6th grade team. Is that right, Stenda?
Yep.
In Dysart, Mitch's son Braden is playing for a travel team, and I'm helping coach my son's rec baseball team. So we're all involved within it in some capacity, different ages. But we're gonna discuss kind of like the different rules within the different leagues and things like that. So just kind of what you agree or disagree on. So like for instance, a lot of them have time limits, right? So for Knox, he's 9 years old. His time limits is an hour and a half. Not sure what Stendo, you can talk about your time limit of your games and all that.
When school's out, I think it's an hour. It's an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then yours, what, your hour and 45?
It just depends what tournaments you're on. Everyone, goes on different things. We can go for an hour and a half to hour and 50 is kind of usually how it goes, but it just depends. Different tournaments are hour and 45 maybe.
Yeah. Well, and Braden's 13U, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you can't. So you're saying you can't start an inning after that time limit?
As soon as that last out in that, all right, let's say it's the bottom of the 5th, the kid catches all right, I'll go back to today. A kid on our team caught the ball in the bottom of the 5th, 3 seconds left on the clock. As soon as they make that out, you automatically start the next inning. Okay. So it's not, you got to rush out in the field, do your warm-up pitches, and pitch the first one. As soon as that out is made, that next inning starts no matter what, as long as obviously there's time left on the clock.
Sure. So they have somebody keeps a clock.
Yeah, the umpires. Yep, they'll start it as soon as it's usually when they do the plate visit. When they flip the coin. If it's pool play, bracket play, obviously the higher seed team is the home team. But as soon as that's over, the clock starts and you get rocking and rolling.
What's it like for both of you guys? Like, how quick are you guys between the transitions between half innings, like pitcher warm up and all that?
Oh, you always want you always want to see kids sprint on and off the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously that doesn't happen all the time. You're dealing with 13 kids, or Coit's dealing with younger kids that, they get out, you deal with a lot of emotions at that age. So, you got some kids that are in the dugout upset, and then they, get out on the field, do that. But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty quick.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, with 9-year-olds, it's a little different. We're on them about hustling out and all that stuff in between innings, but you also have sometimes have 3 coaches, sometimes we have 2 coaches. So there, and then you also have the catchers who aren't either don't know how to put on the equipment right, or they need help getting the equipment on. So then that takes time. But then you have one coach helping that. Then you have another coach like making sure every kid knows what position they're going to, or what I mean? Because we change every couple innings with positions. So then if we don't have that third coach, then we don't have anybody to warm up the pitcher right away, possibly if the catcher's getting his gear on. So some half innings are quicker than others when we're dealing with that. But and then the other issue is some of the other teams that we play, they don't have anybody warming up their pitcher while their catcher's getting ready, or their kids are trying to figure out where the heck they're going and all that. So, yeah, probably not as quick as your group, Stenda, and as Braden's group, but we try to get them in and out as quick as possible.
Well, we had a big problem with that to start off the year, because I mean, once we got it figured out, as far as like how much time they were burning between coming in, the catcher, finding their stuff. I mean, I think we were probably picking up an extra inning a game. Like that's, the game, because that's how much time, like you said, a catcher can't get the gear on, there's nobody warming the pitcher up. So like now it's pretty much just like, you get 3 warm-up pitches. And that's the, if the catcher's not ready, one of us is going out to warm the pitcher up, and that's it. Cause it's like, man, it really takes away from, especially that time limit. When you're trying to get kids in like rec ball, everybody to play, it takes away from a lot of those kids getting close to the equal amount of time playing. I'm sure that's different for travel ball, Mitch, isn't it? Because you probably don't play every single kid's not getting the same amount of playing time.
Right. Yeah. And the team Braden's on right now, their coach does a very good job of getting, rotating kids, not all over the field, but rotating in and out and stuff like that, but I've seen other people that just see a kid sitting on the bench for 4 or 5 innings a game. So,
Sure.
I mean, it's just, it's one of those things when it comes to, I think the travel stuff is you have to be upfront like, hey, we're going to carry 13 kids. 9 can only play at a time on a field. We're only going to bat 9 possibly, or we can bat 13. But even if we bat 13, not everyone's guaranteed to be out in the field.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a big deal. It's at the end of the day, it's the investment playing, you're paying anywhere from $400 to $1,200 to be on a team. Then, you're practicing twice a week, starting wintertime, spring, and now you're, traveling depending where your team wants to go. You could be local or you could go 3 hours, whatever it may be. And it's just a lot of money and time, if it's at the end of the day, it's a fit,
Sure.
Just if it's a good fit for you, that's what I've always told people. If it's a fit, ask around, talk to people about it. And, if hey, we're going to carry 13 people, like, do you want to be a part of something that big or find a different team?
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a good point.
At the 13U, you can choose to bat all kids on your team.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You can still
That's
do
interesting.
that. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I just figured by the time you got to that age, it'd kind of just be more like these 9 guys, or you got a DH, so 10 guys are playing, and that's it. But
like I said, you can bat 9, or
Okay.
you can bat your whole roster, and it's a talking point at this age where, hey, how many you get to bat all 12 guys you got on your lineup card? Yep, we're going to bat everybody. Or some people are, nope, we're going to bat these 9 guys, these 3, 4, whatever it may be, or subs, and you go from there.
So both teams don't have to do the same thing.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Interesting.
What about pitch counts?
Oh, geez, that's a whole nother. Some people go pitch counts. Some places go innings. So it just depends. I prefer the pitch count personally, because let's say, I don't know, you could pitch 4 innings, but what if you're throwing 20, 30 pitches an inning and you're throwing, 100 pitches? Well, I only threw 4 innings. Well, it goes on, just the wear and tear on your arm at the end of the day. And there's some coaches that are very, very good with that. They track it, they monitor it, and other people are, well, we want to win this game. Well, I mean, what age groups it take to say, I probably shouldn't. I mean, we can go up to high school. You see some of these pitch counts nowadays in high school, and it's ridiculous. What my opinion, everyone's is different.
Sure.
What these guys are throwing. And then, you bring it down to 13U to Knox's age. There's probably some kids that are throwing way too many they should be.
Right.
Yeah. This is great because Knox is wanting to get into a travel team next year. So, and there's a lot that I don't know about travel baseball. So, so you're saying that, so if a tournament's going by pitch count, not innings, you don't actually have to count the pitches. That's like kind of more or less of what you just said.
Correct. Yeah.
So what's the point of having a pitch count if they're not counting the pitches?
Right.
You know what I mean?
They go off innings. And like I said, everything's different. And I'll be the first one to say, I don't know exactly what the number are to, there's some, if you stay I'm just throwing this out there. If you throw 30 pitches, you can come back the next day and pitch.
Yeah.
If you throw over 30 pitches, there's some tournaments that say you need a day rest, you can only throw X amount of pitches in a game, so that's
what
it's tough. My opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I coached for 3 or 4 years with Braden's team, and I always said, I want nothing to do with the pitch count. Like I don't want to monitor it. I don't want to be in charge of whatever, but we would have kids that threw a lot or, they're struggling. And I would say, I think it might be time to just pull them. Like
Yeah.
Not even the pitch count thing, but when a kid's up there walking kids or giving up a bunch of hits, like you can see a 13 to 8-year-old kid, you can see their demeanor, their body
Sure.
language.
Yeah.
Like they keep looking at the dugout. They want out. At some
Yeah.
point, you got to listen to the kids and just say, "Hey, we'll get you out." Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to see your kid if Knox is up there walking 6, 7 dudes in a row. You don't want your kid's confidence level to drop because of that. And then the next time he goes into pinch, he's going to say, "Oh, I'm not a very good pitcher. I don't want to keep doing this because I'm not good." You want to keep these kids' confidence level as high as they can possibly be. I mean, obviously, at some point, they're going to give up a home run, a base winning run, whatever it may be. But if you can control something like that, I think you should take full advantage of it.
Sure.
What do you have as far as pitch count limit or innings at your league, Stenda?
So they have again, nobody keeps track of it because 99% of the teams, like, you just keep book for your own team.
Right.
And you don't have to, like, the substitutions and all that, you don't have to report them. But the pitching it's supposed to be 50 pitches or 3 innings, which like, to me, like the 50 pitches, like I look at 50 pitches and 3 innings. I'm like, even in high school, if you're at 50 pitches at 3 innings, that's 17 pitches in any. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, from the grand scheme of things, but I mean, 15 pitches an inning and 6 innings, that's 90 pitches. That's a lot of pitches, for even a high school kid. So, I like the 50 pitches and I keep track of them. And I'll say, like, hey, when they're there, I'm like, dude, he's at 50 pitches. He's at 2 1/3 inning. I'm like, dude, he needs to come out. Even if he's because I'm like, that's a lot of pitches, especially if you're not even through 3 innings. And some of the teams, I'm sure they're well above that. I'm like, that's not good for their arms. Because if they're not throwing strikes, they obviously are having mechanical issues. I mean, you guys know that. I mean, especially at Little League, you're not getting squeezed by the umpire because they have a bigger strike zone.
Yeah.
If you're at 50 pitches at 2 1/3 inning, it's like, it's time for you to come out. So I like that part on the pitch count. I like the walks. I look at it this way. Like, if you walk any more than 3 people in an inning, we're just going to take you out. Even if you walk a guy, you give up a hit, then you get an out. I'm like, if you walk more than 3 in an inning, you're done. As far as there's no number on, like, walks in general, but I think, should a kid after 3 innings, if he had 5 walks, is that really a good performance? I mean, obviously, again, there's probably mechanical issues. I'd rather fix those things than have him keep throwing, like you said, just because you want him to get the innings in or whatever. So
yeah, with the Knox's group, the 9-10-year-olds, we typically just go. There's no, I mean, I wasn't at like the meetings and all that, but I don't think there's a pitch count limit because we don't count them. But we basically just let a guy go 2 innings and then that's it. Sometimes there's a kid. Sometimes they'll go 3. Like if we get a kid that pitches like 10 pitches in an inning, we'll like, all right, you can go a third type thing. But that's not usually happening with 9 and 10-year-olds though. But so yeah, it's interesting how all that works with all the pitch count and all that. Another common thing, and Mitch just had this happen today, and Knox's group had a game last week, and I think Stenda, you said something. You had a game possibly that did this too, an extra inning game.
Yeah.
So I think each one of us probably did something different as far as the extra inning rule. Obviously, like Major League, they have the runner on second.
California rule.
Start with the runner on second, but every league kind of does something different. So I'll let Mitch talk about what Braden had to do today for his game.
Yeah, they went to extra innings, and like you said, batter starts with a 2-1 count. There is 1 out and a guy on second. Last out goes to second base, and they were able to win today. Getting a stolen base, got the guy to third. A kid walked on a 2-1 count, and everyone goes, "Well, that's only 2 balls." Well, some people just don't understand.
So every
the rule.
batter starts 2-1?
2-1. Yep.
Okay.
So then the kid walked. So then, you got first and third. So then you tell the kid to steal. So it takes away the double play because there's 1 out. And a kid just hit a fly ball to right field. The kid caught it. It was deep enough, and our guy was able to score. And game was over.
Yeah.
We're obviously the home team, but yeah, it's just kind of just to speed it up and just get the
Right.
game over when it gets to bracket play, because you obviously can't tie because someone has to move on. But
Sure.
yeah, it's just something to speed it up.
Do you like in pool play tie though?
Yeah.
You have
Yep.
ties? Okay.
Yep. 100% tie. Yep.
That's interesting. I hate seeing a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just to get these games moving and
Sure.
get them in, get them out. It's pretty much the motto,
Yep. See, we don't have. Well, how does yours get? How do you guys do
Ours-
rec for that?
We did well. I didn't even. Our head coach didn't even know we did extra innings, and he's like, "Oh, I was just ready to shake hands, because we knew it was tied." And the other coaches were like, "No, we're doing extra innings. This is what it is." And it was runner on second and third, 1 out, but you start with a 0-0 count. So a little different than Mitch's rule, but you start with second and third instead of a guy on second and 1 out. So, and I got to give a shout out to Knox. He pitched out of that jam and struck
Boom,
2
there we
guys
go.
out for it. But
there we go.
Coming through,
Yeah.
baby.
yeah. What? How about you, Stenda? What did you guys do?
So we don't have. So get this. We're the home team, right?
Okay.
So you can only in our league is you can only score 5 runs in an inning, and then you
Yep.
flip out.
Yep.
So this is the last inning. We're literally down by like 10 runs, literally. But we're in the bottom half. So we go out there, right? And we ended up getting like 5 or 6. When it got to we got 5 runs, and they're like game over. And the coach is like, what? And we're like, dude, it's the last inning. We're the home team. And they're like, well, you have to tell us that beforehand. The coaches have to agree on that. I'm like, what's the point of us batting in the bottom half, even if we were down by 30 runs?
Yeah.
What would it matter? And we were like kind of just standing there, and the head coach is like, oh, okay, fine. Then I'm like going through the line, I'm like, yeah, great game, and I'm thinking, I want to see the coach like that's just the stupidest thing that we just did. What was the point? And like the kids were upset because they're like, because they were coming back, and they were like, they got some hits, got some guys on base. And it's like, so what was the point of this? Like, yeah, we're down by 9 runs, but who cares? Like, we might as well just called it, before that, because theoretically, based on the 5 runs.
So the last inning you can score as many as possible. Is that what you mean?
You can, but you have to agree on that with the coaches before the game starts. That if you get in that situation, and I'm like, well, they're 5th and 6th. Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, all right. So
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, stupid.
You would think you would think they would just, that's how the rule would be, but
yeah. I'm like, okay, well,
and at the end of the day, it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 U or whatever you want to call it, baseball. So it's really not the end of the world, I guess, if you tie or if you do lose a game. But some people think otherwise. But anyway,
sure.
So any other, you got anything else on baseball, youth baseball, or anything, Stenda or Mitch?
No.
Anything else you want to add? You don't want to get into how much it costs to get in and all that, Mitch? Or
you can if you want to, but it's not cheap.
No,
we'll just say that.
Yeah,
you got to have that money.
That or you gotta have a wristband hookup. I won't give details on that though.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to give away your secret.
Save
Mitch.
those writbands.
Don't want to give away secrets.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask Mitch a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like cost of getting on a travel team. You just said anywhere from like $400 to $1,200.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like share like how much you're paying with Braden or how much you have paid, but hypothetically, if you were starting a travel team, how much would you charge for a first-time travel team, do you think, per person? Or what would be
there's a lot of things that go into factor for that. The biggest, I think, cost of your enrollment fee or whatever you want to call it is to get winter time, indoor practice time. It's hard. It's hard to find. And those places, there's not a whole lot. So they can charge, whatever they really want to charge. So I think indoor rental has a lot to do with it. Uniforms.
Well, say that a person that is starting the travel team has free access to indoor rental.
Free access. Okay. All right. We'll factor that in.
Factor that in as you're thinking through
So,
this.
all right. So you got uniforms,
Yep.
which, obviously go through AdCraft for that because they're going to be the best quality and the
Shout out
the cheapest around. That's every team Braden's ever played for has been an AdCraft uniform company. And a lot of it too comes, when it comes to tournament fees. Like this weekend, we'll just say it. We played down at the Betplex. It was $750 for the tournament, just for the team to play in it. That's, you still got to pay the entry, or not the entry, the gate fee to get in. So what I think,
well, you figure like catcher's gear, probably equipment, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but for the most part, every kid has their own that wants to catch. So you don't, none of that really factors in. I mean, when you play on a travel team, it's your tournament fees is what is included in your enrollment. It's the indoor practice facilities, and then it's uniforms, and then everything else is up to you. Your bat bag, your bat,
your
gloves, all that. I think so. If you say you got a place for free in the winter, I would say $500-600.
Okay,
I would guess somewhere around there. But then that's the problem. You're paying $750 for a tournament.
Yeah,
you playing 8 tournaments. You playing 14 tournaments. How many are you playing?
8, probably.
Yeah, and it also depends the age group because if you look, different age groups are different price.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
At the younger ages, there's one umpire on the field because he can stand behind.
Gotcha.
He can stand behind the pitcher, and he can call balls and strikes, and he can call everything in the field. When you get older, obviously you have 2. So, yeah, I would say that there's somewhere that's fair, but for a free, if you have a free indoor, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah. All right.
You starting a team or what?
Thanks for that insight, Mitch.
Insider Mitch Phillips.
Yeah. So he's got information. All right. Anything else on that topic? Are you good?
No, we're good.
All right. Next topic here, and I think when I was writing this and I was thinking about it, I think we may have briefly discussed this before, but not in detail. But so one thing, we're focusing now more on professional athletes here instead of the youth, but kind of the standard that professional athletes are held at in their off the field activities and different things like that, as opposed to like the normal everyday person. So a lot of those guys are constantly under some scrutiny, or everything they do is kind of magnified. If you look at like high profile people like Tom Brady or anybody like that, Travis Kelce. I mean, and I know people don't always like bringing this up, but he's at like Taylor Swift's concerts, obviously his girlfriend, and people are giving him a hard time for being at his girlfriend's concert. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff like that. That's kind of, anybody else is at their girlfriend's concert that's a singer isn't going to be being made fun of because of that. So they're constantly under scrutiny. There's a bunch of people following them. So why do you think, Stenda, that it is that they are held to that higher standard, I guess you could say, as opposed to like Joe Schmoes like us?
I don't know. I mean, I think, again, a lot of it's, I think most would agree, is just because of their money. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, their status within their community and what they do, like, and I get it, but like when you think about it, whether you're a professional athlete, a lawyer, a doctor, you work at a gas station, whatever, like you want everybody to like set a decent example, be a good person. I just feel like they're always, you see a lot of things like, like, those professional athletes, they're going to party, they're going to booze, they're going to do those things like, and it's no different like for us as, the everyday average Joe, like you just want to be responsible, but you always see stuff about them like, so-and-so was at the club or, till 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, so what? It's not like,
Yeah.
if they're not doing anything illegal, what does it matter? Like, I don't, to be held to a higher standard. It's like, shouldn't we just set the standard for everyone and say, we just want people to make good decisions because they have money? A lot of these guys, like, they like to go have fun, or gals like to go have fun, but they do so much for their communities, their charities, their donations, those things. It's like, okay, I mean, a lot of that stuff, everybody knows that there's going to be a lot of alcohol involved. There's extracurricular things that, are illegal and you hope they refrain from it. But I don't know, it's kind of like when you see somebody, and I hate saying this, but like you see them like get a DUI or something. And I'm like, okay, like I get it. You make an honest mistake, but a lot of people that happens to, like that happens to the average Joe. And it's like, you pay your dues, you deal with it and you move on. Why are they so scrutinized for, well, they should make better decisions? Well, there's also millions and millions of people that do the same thing every day and nobody's saying nothing to them. So I feel like I get it because of the money and their status in their communities, but at the same time, it's like they are normal human beings, and I don't know if they should necessarily be scrutinized as much as they are.
Yeah. I mean,
Nailed it.
that was a great response, Dendo. Jeez. I don't even know if I have a rebuttal to that, because I mean, pretty much everything you said, I was kind of thinking as well as I was asking that question. And, like you said, you want everyone to, and especially, I mean, kind of you as a police officer, you're hoping that people are making responsible choices and decisions and not doing even that everyday person out there, so, and then with the professional athlete, obviously they have more money than guys like us. So they have like the more expensive cars that they can drive faster. They have, they're able to go out whenever they want. They're able to go wherever they want, and not have to worry about the cost of it and things like that. So, yeah. And they also, with that, they also typically are meeting other famous people, you know what I mean? So then that's magnified as well. Like I'm not really meeting any famous people, when I'm around Comanche, Iowa. So, so that kind of plays into it as well. So yeah. But yeah, you hope everyone makes good decisions and things like that, but it doesn't always happen that way. And it probably never will. So,
well, I mean, you probably have to, I mean, for you, like football coach, I mean, even there, even though it's not professional, but like I would imagine this probably for all communities, like high school coach, you see kids out with their parents at the bowling alley or an establishment. That's very common in a small community. Like, oh, there's, Coach Coyd, he's drinking beer. Well, he's not doing anything illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not illegal to do that. And I mean, what you can't expect people to, live in a shelter, or live inside just their home and that's it. Like you have a normal life. It's one thing for you to be at the bowling alley sloshed over the, the bar,
right,
sleeping. We don't want anybody to do that, but it's like you're a normal human being. If you're drinking beer at the bar with your coaches or your family or friend, I just don't see what's wrong with that, because it'd be no different than the next guy who got off work at 8 a.m. and said, I'm going to go to the bar and have some drinks. Like, you just try to be reasonable, make smart decisions when you do that. Because we've all made mistakes. And I mean, again, it's like, I just feel like the professional then / you just go to like what you do and stuff, like you kind of are held to that standard. Like, well, there's kids. It's like, so what are you supposed to do? Like, you probably see a lot of your kids when you go to Walmart, you go to a store to shop. Like, come on. Like, what happens if you're buying a case of beer and kids like, oh my God, I saw Coach Coyd buying beer. Ah, well, he's of age. I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, I play in the sand volleyball league at the bowling alley on Thursday nights,
Sure.
and well, Mitch's wife is on my team, so we were at the bowling alley Thursday, and we hung out after the game and had a couple of adult beverages. And
Sure.
I'm not like, and Mitch wasn't either. Like, we're not like falling off the bar stool or anything
Sure.
like that. But yeah, I'm not afraid to have a beverage or two in front of a high school age kid, because most high school kids understand that. Like, hey, he's he's my teacher or coach, but he can do this legally. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But and I know there might be some parents out there that think otherwise, or other people that do, but it's not affecting me professionally, I don't think.
No.
So I don't see a problem in it, and I still, for the most part, act responsibly and things like that. But
I mean,
Mitch is laughing at me right now, but I don't know, so we'll
No.
see. But yeah,
You're living your life, man.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
kids have dads, moms
yeah,
that sit at home and have adult beverages. And
yep.
and
Or
wouldn't you
go
like
to
Mitch?
bars and
Mitch-
restaurants and do the same thing.
Yeah, like Mitch, like for you as a parent, like being friends with Coach Coy, your son's probably going to play football there for him. Like, wouldn't you want to have that relationship as a parent, like where you could go to like the bowling alley and have a beer or two with the head football coach because your kid plays and you guys have you're separating a personal and professional relationship.
correct.
And
yeah.
I would think most parents would want to have that like relationship where it's like, and I think you made a good point, Coach Coy, like there's those few far and in between. I've been a part of that though, where I've had parents say like, back in the day when I first started coaching and I was in law enforcement, like, I don't think you should be doing that. I'm like, I don't really care what you think, because, I'm not going to turn down, a group of kids that I coach and a group of the parents say, hey, we're going up to the local establishment. We're gonna have some beers. Like, come on. Well, if I say no, they're going to think that I'm not human. They're going to think that I don't want to get to know them on a personal level. I think that's important for you to be able to have that relationship with the parents. And it probably makes it easier for you to get the points across of like what you're trying to do with maybe even football, when you can have a conversation with them on a different level than in between practice or in between a game or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I don't know.
Mitch is always down to have a beer with me. So
Yeah. No, I think Coit, for the most part, probably has an open door policy as a coach. So, like, if you have an issue, reach out and we'll fix it.
Yeah, I may not do it at the bar.
Right.
But,
No, but I'm
but
just saying, it's just
absolutely.
I've never seen a parent or whoever walk up to you and you go, nope, not right now. It's not the right time. Like,
yeah.
Yep.
They're obviously out doing the same thing you're doing. They're enjoying their night, weekend, whatever it may be.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like you said, you're an adult. You can do what you want.
100%.
Sure.
Weston Jones is asking if we're taking questions. We're always taking questions, Weston. So
Throw them away, Weston.
if
Let's
you
go.
would like to ask a question, shoot, man. We'll read it and we'll discuss it.
Hopefully it's for Mitch on why does he drink Keystone Lights?
Oh, he's going NBA here. This is off topic, but if you can get to it, what do you think of the recent Bulls trade? So the Bulls traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey for the OKC. So personally, I don't watch a ton of NBA. And I've watched both of those guys play. I watched a decent amount of Bulls games this year though, but I don't know. Caruso, he's been in the league for a while. Giddey's a young, I think, up and coming player. Caruso's a really good defender. Can shoot it, can score occasionally. But I think Giddey can fill it up a little more and score a little more. He's a good passer too. Defensively, I don't think he's as good as Caruso. I think it was a good trade for the Bulls. I don't know. I don't know what Weston thinks. He can chime in too if he'd like. Stinda, I know you're not a huge NBA guy. I don't know if you
No.
knew much about it.
I'll
but,
let you guys
um,
take this one.
Mitch, what are your thoughts on it?
I think Iodosumu should get way more minutes
Yeah.
and be the primary guy. No, I'm just kidding. And draft Terrence Shannon Jr. By the way.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air. Like I've watched a decent amount of Bulls games. I think it was too late in the year to do it. I think they could have got a lot more value if they would have done it during the season than this late in the season. Josh Giddey obviously is a solid player. Obviously he had his off the court issues that he had to deal with, and you never really know what the guy can bounce back from kind of something like that. So it'll be interesting, but I was always a big Caruso guy. I would always tell my son, I go, play like him, play defense like him, like just
it's like a pest,
balls to the wall at the end of the day. He was all over the place, throwing his body all over. So I think if they wanted to get rid of him, they should have done it during the season, because it sounded like they could have got a little bit more draft capital for that, but I don't know.
Are you a Bulls fan, Mitch?
Yes. I mean, man, I was born in '85. I grew up with Jordan, man. Like,
who's
greatest
Jordan?
player ever.
Who's Jordan? Did you forget about LeBron James?
I don't know who you're talking about. He's a fine player, but give me Jordan.
LeBron. So this guy, who did the Bulls pick up? Who did they pick up?
Josh Giddey from Australia, right?
I believe so.
What is he? 6'6", probably 22, 23.
Yeah, he might be younger than that.
He got caught up in a little situation this during the season, so I don't know.
Tell me, give me a comparison for this guy they got from like the 96, 97, 98 Bulls.
I don't even know, dude. I haven't watched enough Josh Giddey, to be honest with you.
I mean, as far as like size and all that, he probably would be kind of like a Kukoc.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kukoc was a little bigger.
But yeah,
I think Kukoc was more 6'9".
6'9".
This guy's
6'10", 6'11".
I think. God, who?
I'll look up Giddey right now. Giddey averaged 12.3 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, 4.8 assists.
He's a solid player, I think.
And OKC was good. They were really good. They were
the one
team.
seed, right?
Yeah.
They were one seed with Shea.
Yeah, Australia. He's 21 years old.
Yeah, so I mean, super young.
He's a young guy.
He's 6'8". He's 6'8".
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know he was that big.
Yep. So
well, with those stats, yeah, you can.
That's comparable to Tony Kukoc. Honestly,
I'd roll with that. For sure.
Kukoc was a good off the bench player.
Yeah, and Kukoc probably averaged like 13 or 14 a game for his career. I'd say somewhere around there. So
he was a lefty.
Yeah, I loved watching Kukoc. Weston said I started paying attention this year, so don't have much opinion. I like Caruso defensively, and I had to look at highlights of Giddey, so I don't know if the Bulls could fare out well with the trade or if it was dumb. I appreciate the feedback. LeBron has a nice hairline. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. He needs to get on that Brian Urlacher deal.
Yeah.
You go to Chicago, you can see all of his hairline things,
get the
man.
hair back. Yeah.
LeBron might have a little bit more money than Urlacher to fix that.
I think he's got slightly a little bit more in the bank than Urlacher. But but also, here's a guy that we haven't talked about with the hairline is Drew Brees. How did he get his hair back? Do you notice that when he's been as an analyst?
I have not seen Drew Brees in a while. I have not. Maybe he's on the Urlacher hair treatment thing.
Could be.
He had to.
Well, I need to know how he's doing that because I'm balding and receding right now too. So I need to maybe.
Me and LeBron are the same age.
I may need to reach out to Drew Brees and Urlacher and see how to get this going.
Yeah,
my hair is out of control right now with that, but yeah, I've tried like hair thickening shampoo and I use that right now. I don't know if that's helping.
You just gotta let it happen, my man.
Yeah, I get
wear a hat.
I do wear hats.
Visor.
Well, football season.
Rock a visor, dude.
I can't rock a visor. I got a box on the top of my head.
Visors just make me chuckle.
No, I football season I wear a hat pretty much every day. So when I'm not in school, but so yeah. All right,
next. You wear a hat in school? Could you wear a hat if you wanted to?
I don't. They wouldn't let me.
Oh,
Like the kids aren't allowed to wear hats, so I don't think like I probably shouldn't be walking around with a hat either. So,
sure.
I mean, if they would let me, I would probably. But
Get some
all
cowboy
right,
boots.
Stenda, do you want to go? So we have Comanche football, which obviously I know a lot about. Or the College World Series. Which one do you want to go at before we
Let's do
get to rapid fire?
let's do the Comanche football.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So, Stenda brought up this to put this on the agenda was the Comanche football upcoming season, the 2024 season, and then Weston Jones, if he's still listening, he's got he just married the mom of one of my players, so technically it would be his stepson. Anyway, Comanche football. Stenda wanted to ask. Why don't you just ask me the question, Stenda? Because I feel weird like
No, I
setting
got
up
you.
questions for myself.
You guys can both chime in. So
Okay.
obviously, how many guys did you lose senior wise?
We had 13 seniors graduate,
Okay,
so that's a lot for Comanche.
sure.
A lot of
So
seniors.
how does the incoming, and then when I say incoming, we'll say soft's going to be juniors, and then maybe get in.
Okay.
Are you going to have some fresh or sophomores playing up on varsity?
We will not have any freshmen playing varsity. So as of, I mean, this is going into my 8th year. I believe my 8th year. Yeah, my 8th year as head coach. And when I first took over, I kind of put in a policy in place that I'm not going to play freshmen on varsity just because in Comanche most of the time, a kid isn't physically and probably even mentally ready to go from 8th grade football to varsity football. I mean, that's a huge difference. And I'm not going to say I'll never do it. Just because, there could be someone that comes along that physically matured at a really young age and may be able to physically and mentally handle it. But as of right now, I've kind of had a policy where I'm not going to play freshmen on the varsity roster or put them on a varsity roster. So, and it's also looking that this is going to be that way again this year. So, so there'll be no freshman helmets out. But as far as incoming sophomores, there's a couple of guys that right now are backup, shouldn't say backup because he's kind of him and the other quarterback are competing pretty good right now and 7-on-7 and stuff. He's going to be a sophomore, doing a nice job for us. Carson Goldensoft is his name. But he's a sophomore that's going to dress varsity. We have a couple other guys that may see some special teams time or maybe an offensive lineman that might be in the mix a little bit as well. So a couple that could use that are going to be sophomores in that aspect. And then our incoming junior class, we have 21 of them out right now. So that's awesome.
Sure.
We're going to be fairly young at the varsity level. When I say young, I mean a lot of juniors are going to be playing.
Sure.
We just don't. Our incoming seniors, I think there's only 8 or 9 of them that are going to be out, and 4 or 5 of them are going to see a lot of time. The other 4 or 5 are really going to have to work to get in there and see some time there. So we'll be playing a lot of juniors. We just did a 7-on-7 with Clinton on Wednesday, and I was talking to Coach Beal, my assistant coach, and body break. We're just kind of looking at the guys on the field, and the one offensive possession, we only had 1 senior out there. The rest were all juniors, and we had a sophomore in there too. So, and the same thing with defense. We really only had 2, maybe 3 seniors on the field there in the 7-on-7 when we were mixing it up. And as far as linemen go, we're going to probably only have 1 senior, maybe 2 on the line as well. So So yeah, we're looking to be fairly young, coming up here, playing a lot of juniors. So
How'd you guys do in the 7-on-7?
I thought we did well, honestly. We don't really keep score, or we just kind of, Coach Harrigan and I meet before, like, all right, how do you want to run it this week? We're going to do 3 different 7-on-7s with them in the summer. And then at the end of the summer, we're going to go to Fulton and go against Fulton, Morrison, and Erie Prophetstown. So we basically just run sets of 10 to 12 plays each time. So we'll run 10 to 12 offensive plays, then flip. I think we did that 3 different times. So we were getting roughly 30 offense, 30 defensive plays.
Sure.
And we didn't move the ball down the field either. We just stayed at the 40 and just played. So this week when we go back over there, we're going to kind of treat it more like a football, kind of move the ball, kind of 10 yards, first down, stuff like that. So kind of get that feel and do some red zone situations and things like that. But as far as the 7-on-7 went overall, I mean, this summer, we only been on the field twice before that, going over stuff. So a lot of the stuff we were doing was a review from last year. And then we obviously have some young guys, new guys out there that didn't really play any varsity as sophomores. So last year, getting them up to speed was a big part of it. But I liked what we did a lot offensively. Defensively, I was really impressed. I was kind of worried about that going in, but I thought we played really good. We had great drops in our zones, covered a lot of ground in the back end with our safeties. We had, I think, 3 or 4 picks on the day. So,
That's good then.
So yeah, it was good overall, good day.
That's what I was going to ask you on the coverage part, because I'm sure there are obviously no pads and it's all passing.
Yeah, we're just helmets and it's all passing. So I mean, it's easy because we know.
Sure.
But, and it's easy for linebackers too, because they know, like, hey, I got to get to my drop here, because they're going to pass, and usually linebackers are kind of coming forward, or we want them to. So they're getting to their drops usually really well in 7-on-7. And we went with our 2 safety look a lot with Tyson Caesar and Gavin Baker back there. Those two are Tyson Caesar 6'6" and just has some of the longest strides I've ever seen in a high school kid, and he just covers so much space and area. I think he had 2 or 3 picks, just hawking balls down.
Sure.
And then Baker's more of a physical type guy, but he's got great instincts, kind of like instincts that you don't really coach. He just has them, makes our job easier when kids have that. And then you got like Eli Joseph, who's going to be a senior, playing a really good corner. You got Ty Stone that played corner, Wes McDaniel, Tyson Graves, those type of kids, Caden Allen at linebacker. So we're gonna have a solid core there. So looking forward to that.
Sure. Mitch, how do you feel about when Coach Coy was talking about a freshman playing varsity? How would you feel about, even baseball, but football, baseball, any varsity sport? Your son's incoming freshman, says, "Hey, I want to bring him up." How would you feel about that as a parent?
I think what Coit said, hit the nail on the head with it's physically and mentally. Like if you could play varsity football as a freshman, then obviously you probably pretty much dominated your whole middle school career. Like coming up, you were obviously the man. You were bigger than everybody, or just mentally could just get past. If you weren't the biggest guy, you could just kind of mentally get yourself past it. I'm with Coit. I agree. It's tough, especially in a smaller town when you have a smaller pool of kids. When you're dealing with like let's go PV, when they probably have 80, 90 kids that are probably showing up for freshman football.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe you get that bigger, stronger kid that you go, we could probably use this kid.
Sure.
But I think what Coit's doing is the right approach if I was doing it. If a special talent could be coming through at some point, and you go, all right, this kid's really, really going to help us. So I'm just going to have to just do it, instead of just, oh, nope, that's my rule. It is what it is, But if a kid can help you out and that physically, mentally he can do it, I think you should.
Sure. Well, imagine if it probably come down to, especially because I think I remember back in the day, even like, I think if I remember basketball, we never really had it in football, but you'd see like some of them get brought up as like a sophomore and they never used them. Or it was very, very limited, or it's like, I feel like that would really hurt a kid's confidence. Like if you're going to bring them up, I hope you're going to bring them up and you're going to use them, utilize them. It's one thing if they're playing sophomore and starting sophomore, and then you're dressing them on for varsity. Well, I understand that. But if you were going to take a kid out of sophomore ball and bring them up to varsity, but then never use them or very little, I mean, that would probably hurt a kid's confidence, to just sit there when they could watch the game on Friday nights after playing sophomore ball instead of, missing sophomore and then just being on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's, I mean, as a head coach, like you kids like that, like, I mean, we never had a freshman yet, but like a sophomore, like if a sophomore is good enough to play varsity, then he's going to play or probably start, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and you're taking kids that are going to give you think they're giving you the best chance to win, and that's why they're up there. So, I mean, we had a kid this year, for example. We had some guys get hurt at the varsity level. This kid was a sophomore and he played both ways at the JV level and just killing it. And then we had some injuries and I brought him up on varsity and he did really well. But then he was only playing one side of the ball. So in my head, I'm like, well, he's going to be, when he's a junior, he's going to be a two-way starter for us. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, well, do I let him play some offense at the JV level, because he's not getting any offensive time.
Sure.
So it's hard to, but you also are like, well, he's starting varsity on the defensive end, so you don't want to risk any injury at the sophomore level because he's helping you win games right now defensively. You know what I mean? So it's hard to, you don't want kids missing out on opportunities.
Sure.
But you also have to be smart about it as well. And most kids, if they're a sophomore and they're starting one way on varsity, they're going to understand that and not really throw a fit about it. Sure. I mean, obviously they probably want to play with their other sophomores at the JV level, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So
football's a different beast.
Oh yeah.
When it comes, I mean,
yeah.
Look at the professional rules. You got to play 3 years in college.
Yeah.
To even go to the NFL.
Right.
Sure.
Basketball, you get one or, go to the G League or do whatever you got to do. And what do they basically tell you? It's physically you have to be ready for something like that. So, I mean, how many kids, when you always go up to the state tournament, how many kids do you see make the all tournament team as a freshman in football?
Not
Probably
very many.
But if you go for basketball, there might be a couple that are on there.
Maybe.
But but football, there's never.
Yeah. In baseball, there's probably
right. Yeah.
Too,
well, yeah. No, absolutely. But there's not the physical contact.
Right.
That, you deal with football.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a question. So
do
you have a prediction for season wins and losses, or do you not do that?
State champs.
I don't do that. I don't usually do that. I will say our non-district schedule is very tough. And so Iowa obviously is kind of unique how they do it. Like your non-district games don't really matter. I mean, obviously you want to win every game you play.
Sure.
And we're coaching kids up to win every game. I'm going to do the same amount of film study on a non-district team as I do the district teams and all that, so I might spend a little more time on some district teams than the non-district, but generally it's about the same. So if we go 0-3 in non-district and we finish in the top 4 in our district, we're in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So yeah, we could be 3-5 and make playoffs possibly, which again, some people think, well, that you shouldn't make playoffs if you have a losing record. And I mean, I guess I could partially agree with that, but that's not how it's set up. So that's how it works, So that the non-district schedule we open up with Dubuque Wahlert, and they're gonna be very solid.
Sure.
Then Alburnett, they're going to be solid again. Wilton's going to be really good. I think they might make a run to the Dome in 1A possibly. They got everybody coming back. They were really good last year. So we're definitely going to have our hands full in that non-district play. But main goal with non-district starting out with that is you obviously see what guys can play and make sure you have the guys in the right position. It's a good time to kind of, you got an in-between type guy, or you got two guys battling out for a spot, you might give them equal reps in one of those games and see who does better. And when you evaluate the film and things like that, and then whoever their better guy is come district play, he's going to get the nod. So it's kind of how we use those games too. Obviously we go in wanting to win them, but we really, really evaluate our players a lot in those games just to see what we got and who's going to give us the best chance to win come district time.
Yeah, sure. Go Command Storm, baby.
Heck yeah, man. Can't wait. Summer's been fun. We've had great weight room attendance, and looking forward to getting everything rolling, man.
You need to get Mitch Phillips in there. Get him in the weight room. Put him out as a receiver, cornerback.
Don't need that. Never played a down of football in my life.
Never played.
He could be a slot. He could be a slot corner. We compare him to Mike Hilt.
There we go.
I like it. What are you, about 5'6", Mitch?
Oh, he's taller than 5'6".
You must be talking Melissa or something.
5'8".
Mitch and I are like the same height. And I'm like almost 5'9", man.
You all got the David
On
Lake.
a good day. 5'9".
Same boat.
5'9" on a good day.
Yes, sir.
5'9" with high heels on.
Ooh.
How tall are you? Like 5'10"?
Dude, I'm almost 6'2".
Shut up. You're
Yes,
not
I
6'2".
am.
No way.
Yes, I am.
All right,
Yes,
next time you're here, I'm measuring you, dude. There's no way you're 6'2".
I just had my physical back in August.
No, now you're 6'1".
Oh, 6 foot, 6 foot.
Come on.
I said almost 6'2". I was at my physical in August of last year, 6'1.5" with my shoes off.
Jeez.
With your shoes on?
Shoes off, 6'1.5".
6'1.5".
73.5 inches.
All right. I'm serious.
Here we go.
I'm seriously measuring you. Getting the tape measure out as soon as you walk in the door.
6'1", 220, baby. I gotta get back down to 200 though.
You talk about a body. Woo.
You'd start
ain't got
middle
no
linebacker for the Steelers with that
Good looking
size.
dude there.
What's that?
Number 69, Clinton.
Okay, that number is actually hung up in your gymnasium.
I believe it.
Only because I think after my senior year, they didn't issue it anymore to anybody. Number 69. Love it. What do you want to go? You want to go to rapid fire?
Let's hit rapid fire up. So do you want me to? So I'm asking Mitch, and then you're asking me, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we agreed?
Yeah.
And then nobody's asking you anything. That's how I read that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Mitch, I don't know if you noticed the last couple episodes we've been doing this rapid fire type thing. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you two athletes, and then you have to pick which one you think is better.
Okay.
And so I'll just tell you the athletes, you just pick the one, and then when we come back to it, you'll explain why you picked that athlete. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go ahead and ask yours here. So the first one is Kurt Kittner or Juice Williams.
Oh, I'll go Juice Williams.
Okay. Next one, another Williams. We have Frank Williams or Darren Williams.
Which one I like more?
Or which one you think's better? Not necessarily who you like more. I mean, you could go that route too. These are Illinois guys, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a funny Darren Williams story, but we'll go Frank Williams.
Okay. Well, you might have to share the story. Aurelia,
It's appropriate. Yeah. I get that.
Aurelius Ben or Brandon Lloyd?
Brandon
Yeah,
Lloyd.
All right. Brandon Marshall or Marty Booker?
I'm going to go
Ooh.
Brandon Marshall. I was
Alright.
always a fan of him.
Yeah, I didn't mind him.
I like that.
Got a good
Um,
podcast, too, by the way.
Yeah. Dexter Fowler or Moises Alou?
Dexter.
All right.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. All right.
Dexter can
Ooh.
catch the ball. He can jump and catch the ball.
Oh, hey, that fan Bartman knocked that ball out of
Well,
Allou's
should have jumped higher.
sight, man.
I'm
Dude,
still
Moises
pissed.
should
about
have
Don't
it.
bring
pulled that
that up.
guy
But just
down.
saying,
Jeez. Why
He
do you have to
should have
bring it up?
whooped
Poor
his, you know
Bartman. You
what,
got to brought that up.
Stenda brought that name.
Um.
Not I.
All right. So, Mitch, you picked Juice Williams over Kurt Kittner. Why?
Different eras,
Yeah.
obviously. I think you'd probably agree with me. If Kurt Kittner played today, he would be an absolute stud.
Yeah.
He was
he'd
a
be really good.
gunslinger.
Yeah.
Like he was
He
awesome.
could chuck a ball.
But Juice was one of my favorite Illinois teams. Going to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Rashad Mendenhall, Stenda, he was on that team.
Mendenhall. Oh, God.
Also had to special order his helmet because he had such a big head. By the way, but yeah,
he did have a big head.
I go just the dual threat quarterback, and
Yeah.
the guy knocked off Ohio State #1 at Ohio State single handedly.
Yes.
What was it, a 7-8 minute drive that
Yeah.
he asked old Zucker to call his number a couple times on 4th down and ended up winning that game.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's good. I would have went Juice Williams too.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
don't know, Kittner, man. Like I said,
Yeah.
nowadays that dude could sling the rock.
Frank Williams, Darren Williams.
I think Frank Williams is one of the most, after this year with Terrence Shannon, was one of the most electrifying Illinois basketball players. And in our era,
Yes.
that dude could, it was just a highlight reel every time you saw that guy play. It was,
And he would literally just, when he played, I don't know if you seen Frank Williams play into Illinois basketball, but he would it didn't even look like he was trying. When
zero,
he was playing.
Didn't
And
care.
he would just score 22 points, not trying. And then he would just literally, it was like, all right, it's time to take over.
Yep.
I'm just going to take the game over and win this game. And you're like, oh, okay. Why didn't you do that the first 32 minutes of the game, man?
Right.
But he was good. But Darren Williams is a stud too.
Oh, Darren was
National championship team.
Yeah, gold medal winner.
They lost, but
Yep.
yeah,
Gold
he
medal
had
winner.
he had a better NBA career than Frank.
Oh,
for
he had
sure.
a very,
But
very good NBA
yeah.
career. Yeah. Nope. Good dude.
What's your Darren Williams story? Or do you not want to say it? He's probably not listening, so it's okay.
No, I highly doubt this will ever get back. Obviously, I was pretty tight with a lot of those guys in that 2005 runner-up thing. A couple of those dudes on that team were in our wedding, me and Melissa's, so it was just cool to kind of hang out with those guys. But yeah, one night he had some adult beverages at a local establishment on campus, and he asked me, he's like, Mitch, I need you to take me home. I was like, all right, because I didn't drink till I was 21. And so I took him home. He made a couple comments about the woman his ex-wife.
Oh,
some things. So we'll leave it at that. But it was interesting. Just driving a guy home where he was the number 3 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, this guy's got
that's
me
pretty
here.
cool.
Yeah, no, it
that's
was
cool.
it was cool. Yeah, hanging out with a lot of those guys. They were roommates with one of my best friends, good buddies. So, just going over to their house and just, like you said, at the end of the day, they're just normal dudes. Like, we talked about Travis Kelce and all those guys. Like, if they walked around Champaign, they were the man. They could do whatever they wanted. They didn't matter. And it was kind of cool to be a part of that whenever I'd go back home, hang out with those guys. So it was cool.
Nice. Good story. I like that.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
Well,
I'll tell you out there what
but
happened. But
not most people aren't driving around the number 3 NBA draft pick home from a bar, so that's cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. The next one was Aurelius Ben and Brandon Lloyd, a couple Illinois receivers.
I mean,
both played in the NFL.
Aurelius Ben was a big get, number 1 receiver out of Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C. That was a Mike Loxley recruit. I was all over that one. As some people know, I'm a big Illinois fan and follow recruiting. But
Mitch is like he knows so much about Illinois basketball and football recruiting. It's wild.
But Brandon Lloyd, Sin, I don't know. Do you know Brandon Lloyd?
Mm.
If you just Google his YouTube highlights, like some of the catches
wild.
that dude would make were
He was with the Patriots, the Niners, and was that it?
He was with the Niners for a long time, and he was one of their. He led them in receptions for a couple years.
He had some good NFL years.
He was, I mean,
if you've seen his highlights, you'd probably recognize him, Stinda.
He was unbelievable. Just all the one-handed catches. Like he was doing that before, like Odell and like all that stuff. Like he was, it was just super impressive.
He didn't he break his leg like jumping off a building or something? Yeah. Good story. And then the next one is Brandon Marshall, Marty Booker.
Yeah, Brandon Marshall. I mean, look at the dude throwing in the balls.
Yeah, Jay Cutler.
Well, Jay Cutler, smoking cigs, hanging out.
Cutler is a man.
But I still think Marshall holds the reception record for the Bears, right?
Possibly. I think Marty Booker might have had it at one point. I think he broke it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to get destroyed this year because, well, maybe not because there's
so many.
You got to spread that ball around. But I'm going to go Roman Dunzier. He's going to break that record at some point. Well, he's a young guy.
I hope so.
He's going to do it.
Got Caleb Williams thrown to him.
You better believe it.
All right. Last one was Dexter Fowler and Moises Alou.
Well, I'm gonna go World Series champ for sure. I don't know. Obviously, he went over to the Cardinals his last couple of years.
Yep.
That's you're a Cubs fan. You go that way, but he was so instrumental on winning. I thought he was a hell of a center fielder.
Yeah.
Leadoff guy. I think he hit a bomb to lead off that game.
Lead off Game 7 World Series.
Correct.
I think it was like the first pitch of the game.
Yep. So I think Dexter Fowler, obviously, in Chicago is more welcomed back than Moises.
Yeah, but
I know it doesn't come down to Moises. Obviously,
that wasn't his fault.
Correct. But I just think anytime Chris Bryant, Rizzo, Baez is in Chicago, like they don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
Their feet, their drinks, food, everything's paid for. Like everyone's gonna do whatever they want. Moises Alou comes back there, who's this guy?
He peed on his hands to toughen him up. Didn't wear batting gloves.
Didn't calluses.
So they didn't get calluses because he had no batting gloves.
Pee on your hands. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't know if it was Moises Alou or who used to be the third baseman that looked like Darren Williams. That went to like the Braves, and then or the Brewers, and then he went to
Ramos
Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Ramos Ramirez, man, he was good.
Him and Moises look, kind of, my opinion, kind of similar.
A little bit.
But that's it.
All right.
$1 for sure. Give me that.
All right.
Like it. You ready,
right.
Coy?
I'm ready, Stendo. What you got?
Here we go. Justin Tucker, Adam Vinatieri.
Ooh. Vinatieri.
Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez?
I'll go Tony Gonzalez.
Mo Vaughn or Prince Fielder?
Prince Fielder.
Jeff Kent or Chuck Knobloch?
Jeff Kent. That's a good one.
That's awesome.
Joe Girardi or Scott Service?
Oh boy. I'm gonna go Girardi.
It's a throwback, Stendo.
Yeah, that's
my last one. Budweiser or Bud Light?
100% Bud Light. No question.
Man, I think I'm done at this point. Wow. All right, so we got stuff. Okay, you take Vinatieri over Tucker?
I did. So Tucker right now is obviously the best kicker in the NFL.
Sure.
But Vinatieri made so many big kicks in his career.
He did.
Playoffs, the Super Bowl. I think he hit a couple Super Bowl winning kicks, right?
I think against the Rams, didn't he?
The Rams,
kick that one the Rams, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. So Tucker really hasn't done that yet. I know he's still got time in his career, but Vinatieri, that's why I picked him.
And who'd you take? Tony Gonzalez?
I did. I was considering Gates on this one, honestly, but Tony Gonzalez played a lot longer.
Sure.
I think he played close to like 15, 16 years, didn't he?
Yep.
And I think he's a top 3 tight end of all time, probably.
Sure.
Gates would probably be in the top 5, I would say, but I'll go Tony Gonzalez.
Yep. And then you took Fielder, Prince.
I did, yeah. Mo Vaughn, that's a good one. That's a good name drop right there. I haven't heard
Prince
that.
Fielder's a vegan, right?
I think he is now. Yeah,
Know that.
I haven't heard Mo Vaughn's name dropped in a long time, but that was great. I mean, I just picked Prince Fielder because I watched him play more than I watched Mo Vaughn play.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think if you look at their stats, they're probably pretty similar, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'd lean more toward Prince.
Jeff Kent, you took him over old Chucky Knobloch, huh?
I did. I know Jeff Kent won an MVP in the early 2000s. I remember that because his son is actually on Texas A&M's College World Series team, so they've been talking about him a lot in that when I've been watching that. But I don't think Kent won any World Series though, did he?
No, because
he was with Pittsburgh and the San Francisco. Did he win any with the Giants?
I don't
He
think
might.
so.
Did they win in early? They won one in early 2000s, right?
Might have, yeah.
He might
I
have.
don't
He might
think
have
so.
a ring. You don't think he did?
Mm-mm.
Okay. With Knobloch, that
Can't throw a baseball.
he could not
Yeah,
throw.
he couldn't
Yeah.
throw. Remember when he couldn't throw from
And-
second?
Yeah, that's wild. And I think Kent, he was just a better hitter too. That's why I took him.
Sure.
And I knew he won an MVP. And I know Knobloch did not. So
Yep. Joe Girardi over Scott. I think it's Scott's. Is it Servius or Service?
I think it's pronounced Service, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I know they both were Cubs catchers, but
Yep.
I always thought Girardi was better than Service.
Sure.
And I know they kind of played it about the same time. And I liked the way Girardi played, and I liked how he was kind of like just a hard nosed, like tough type guy. Not that Service wasn't, but Girardi just gave that vibe off more, I thought.
Sure.
So that's why I picked him.
Jeff Kent did not win a World Series,
Did
but
not.
he won a ring, though. He was traded to the Mets August 92
Oh.
for pitcher David Cohn, but got a ring because he was part of that team.
Oh, wow.
But he technically did not win a World Series.
Okay. Because I was going to say, because Bonds, he played the majority of his career with
Interesting.
Bonds, and Bonds
Yeah,
had
and-
one ring.
Right.
Well, he played with Bonds in Pittsburgh too, right?
I think
Kent play in
they might have at the
Yeah.
beginning.
And then
yeah.
they went,
Yeah.
and then they
Yep,
went to
yep.
the
I
Giants.
believe you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And you took Bud Light over Budweiser.
yeah,
I mean, I could answer that one. For
Bud
you.
Light's my brand. I did when I was in college. I did drink some Budweiser. But I've been a Bud Light guy for a long time now. So
Might as well just
That's
drink
my
you're just
choice.
drinking water, enhanced water.
sorry, I don't drink the Voodoo Rangers and whatever you drinking over there.
Listen, I'll drink a Budweiser all day long. Great taste.
I don't mind a Budweiser. I don't mind the taste of it, but I'm just a Bud Light guy. I don't know. Just,
It all
tastes
makes
great.
sense now. It all makes sense.
hey, you know when all this Bud Light stuff happened, came out about the whole transgender or
Sure.
whatever thing. I got so much crap for like drinking Bud Light from like constant people, and I just kept doing it. I'm like, no, I've been drinking this for a long time. I don't keep drinking it. I don't care what anybody says.
Sure.
So now no one really says anything. But when that first happened, I'm like, holy cow, these people are really being serious about this right
Yeah,
now?
who cares, man? If you like it,
Yeah,
you
I
like
know.
it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not changing.
No.
All
I
right.
like it.
That was it, right? That was the
Yep,
last one.
You got it.
All right.
That was it.
Good list. I like it. Those are some like blasts from the past
Sure
there.
were. Yeah,
was
that
good.
was some research done.
Yeah.
I should have, if I would have known, if I had this together well after or before, I didn't know, you didn't know if Mitch was going to be game time. I should have came up with one for Mitch, because I love asking. I love getting people go like, what the hell? I haven't heard that name in
Yeah.
20 years, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Sure. Yeah.
Move on.
All right. we get into tier talk here.
Yep. Sure.
So Mitch didn't know he was coming on till like 6:30 or so. So I don't know if he came up with 3 teams or not.
Yeah, no, we're good. We can figure
He
it
says
out.
he's going to figure it
Yeah,
out. So we'll let him go last
Okay.
if that's all right. Stenda, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay. I bet before you go, I don't think our list is going to be anywhere close. Most of the
I
time
don't-
we're close.
I don't either, but you know what I did this week?
You're going to have all Steeler champions in there?
Listen, buddy. I don't listen. I'm a real. I'll put the teams where they deserve to be put.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
All right.
So I have 2 notables. So honorable mentions.
Okay. You have 2 of them. All right.
And the first one is the 92 Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Aikman and Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith rushed for 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns. They won a Super Bowl. That was their run, their first Super Bowl out of I think they had 3 in 4 years.
Yep.
So that's a notable. And then this team should honestly be in the top 3, but the other ones I think you're going to like. But I have the 1999 Rams.
All right.
Okay. And I've got, now think of this crew here, Mitch. Warner, Kurt Warner, Falk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. First year that Warner's a starter in the NFL, goes to the Super Bowl. 2 years prior, he's bagging groceries in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Mm-hmm. Becomes the NFL MVP that year and Super Bowl MVP. And he beats Aaron McNair by basically a yard because I think it was Kevin Dyson. Remember, he stretched out there at the.
Yeah, it was Kevin Dyson. Yeah.
Kevin Dyson. So
greatest show on turf, correct?
Yes. It
yes.
was.
Yep. So those
is Tanner Weber not listening tonight?
He must not be because he'd be upset, but he'd be happy that at least I put him on there.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 honorables. Number 3, I go with the 1984 San Francisco 49ers. All right. Joe Montana, 15-1. It's the first year they went to a 16-game schedule. The game they lost was week 7, and he actually drove them down to win, and their kicker missed a 37-yard field goal. So they would have been 16-0. And they beat Dan Marino, who was the MVP of that year, 38-16 over the Dolphins. And the 49ers sent 10 players to the Pro Bowl from that team.
Damn.
And I think just because Marino was such a gunslinger, and I think that was the year I think everybody thought Marino, like he's going to get him the Super Bowl, which he obviously never got him one. So that's my number 3. Number 2, the 1985 Chicago Bears. You got to throw them in there. 46-10 slosh over the Patriots, 15-1. One of the big stats that I like from this was the defense allowed 12.4 points per game that year.
It's insane.
Yeah. And then, you got Sweetness at running back, Dicka's coach of the year. And then you have Mike Singletary, who was, I think, arguably, he's probably obviously top 5 linebacker, middle linebacker, maybe top 3. He's defensive player of the year. So I think just their defense alone was probably one of the best. They would have to be top 3 defenses of all time.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
100%.
I would say number 1, but I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could ball.
Yeah.
And then number 1, I went with the 07-08 New England Patriots.
Oh.
And I do because look, I'm gonna give you some. They had 8 Pro Bowlers, 9 of them were all pros. Just some guys to include Tom Brady, Matt Light, offensive guard or offensive tackle, I think. Randy Moss, Vince Wilfork, defensive line, Mike Vrabel, linebacker. Brady threw 50 touchdown passes, won his first MVP. But I think the biggest thing here is 16-0, and who did they lose to? Eli Manning. That was the David Tyree catch on the helmet.
Yep. Yes,
So
sir.
even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, I still think with the players, because even then Randy Moss wasn't in his prime then. I mean,
No, he was toward the end of his career.
kind of towards the end, and he still was. He was better
He had
than
like
most.
23 receiving touchdowns that year or something like that.
Crazy.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
And that Tyree helmet catch. I mean, it is what it is. I think everyone was probably, even though I put him number 1, for them to only score 14 points, I think that went to show Eli Manning had a really good defense. I don't think like we kind of talked before about his offense. He never really had any stellar players. And to beat Tom Brady, I think that was, but at the end of the day, I mean, with the Pro Bowlers, touchdown passes, MVP, 16-0, I don't know. I think they had both sides of the ball lit up. So that's my number one.
Mitch, you have to give a one word but for his list.
Don't do me dirty, Mitch.
I'm going to go with elite because you put the Bears up there.
Elite, baby.
Yeah. Well, I said this before you said your list that it wouldn't be close to mine, but it's extremely comparable. So I'll say great.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, when I read my list, it's like we are the same brain, I think. But anyway.
We always do. The thing is, though, and we've done this 20 times.
Yes.
Mitch, and you know what? We always have pretty much the same. We have not had very many.
And we don't talk about, just do the topic. We don't talk about like who we're putting in. We have like a couple of times.
Sure.
And there's been like I think we've done it twice, and we had like the exact list and we changed it up. But
sure.
The other 18 times we have not discussed this list at all, and it's always about the same. So I'll do mine. Here we go.
All right, let's hear it.
So honorable mention. I put the 94-95 San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
13-3 regular season. They were the first team to win 5 Super Bowls at that time. Now there's obviously the Steelers have 6, the Patriots have 7, so there's that. But Steve Young, Ricky Waters, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Deion Sanders was on that team. They just had a bunch of dudes. You guys remember Merton Hanks, the dude that would do like the chicken dance thing when he'd get like picks? He was their safety. Ken Norton Jr. was a linebacker on that team. Yeah, they had just their studs. And that was like so I was like 10 years old, and I've always been a Bears fan, but watching this when I like first really got into the NFL was about that time, and they just smoked the Bears in the first round that year, like 42 to like 16 or something. And then I'm like, I kind of like the 49ers. So I was like on the fence of changing teams, but I never did. But I was always a big Steve Young fan. And they just beat down the Chargers in that Super Bowl. So that's why I put them honorable mention. And then here we go, Stenda. Here's our similarities. So number 3, I put the 07-08 Patriots.
Okay.
So I have them at 3 because they didn't actually win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
Obviously they were undefeated regular season. We talked about what happened in the Super Bowl. But they not only did they throw up all those offensive numbers, but that defense was really good too. Like Vrabel and Brewski and Asante Samuel, Rodney Harrison, like they had Vince Wilfork in the middle, like they had dudes all around. So that was my number 3. My number 2 was the greatest show on turf, the 99-2000 Rams.
Yeah, baby.
And again, same thing. Their offense was nasty. We listed all those guys. And then my number 1 was the 1985 Chicago Bears. So they are the most dominant team possibly ever. And as Stenda mentioned, obviously their defense, what you said, they gave up an average of 12.4 points a game. They're not only like with Singletary linebacker, but their defensive line is probably the best defensive line ever with Dan Hampton, Mongo McMichael, the Fridge, Richard Dent. I think there's 2. I think 3. I know at least 2 of those 4 are Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? So, maybe even a third. So that defensive line was just insane. And then like Leslie Frazier,
Oh, yeah.
he was their
I
corner.
know that guy.
Gary Fensick at safety. That team was unreal. Like I was born in 85, so I didn't really see
Sure.
them live, but I've seen enough videos and highlights and have watched enough where I know that they were probably one of the best teams ever. So yeah, that was my list. Linda, what's your guys' word?
Thief. Hacker.
All right.
I'll say
I respect
hacker.
that. Yeah, and I guess I don't know what's going on.
What do you got?
I
Mitch?
go top notch. I know it's 2, but the Bears thing, man, I love it.
I
Absolutely love it.
I could have thrown in the 08-09 Steelers. If we did defenses, that's what we
I
have to
thought
do
you would have
sometimes.
at least one of those Steelers
No
teams on
doubt,
there.
for sure.
Well, I looked at a couple of lists. The 78 Steelers were in the top 10 of all time. They're like at number 6.
Well,
But
I didn't. Well, I didn't put like, and I know you could argue the '85 Bears weren't my era.
sure.
So I didn't we didn't put the '72 Dolphins in there because I know
you
they're
don't
the
see
only
them. It's kind of hard.
undefeated
Like,
team ever. Yeah. So, but
yeah.
you can't.
No,
it's hard
no,
not
no.
to put the Bears on there.
True.
I was alive, but I just don't remember.
Right.
So remember.
Same boat. Same
Actually,
boat.
yeah, I was alive. Yeah, I was alive.
All right, Mitchie, we got to hear your list.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I read this text wrong from Coit.
Oh shit!
I thought
Shoot.
that he meant top 3 teams for this year to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, my bad.
when you guys started going on, I go,
did I not say all time?
I just
Okay.
saw top
must
3
not-
teams.
Okay, my bad.
You might
My
have
bad.
said all time, and I just, all right, cool, yeah,
My bad.
I got this, and then then you guys started going to
If you don't have it,
19
it's fine.
blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't. That's not my list. So I could have read it wrong. So that's my
Yeah,
bad.
I just said top 3 NFL teams. I didn't say of all time.
Yeah, I
That's my
thought
bad.
you meant this year for
No,
who I thought
yeah.
would win the Super Bowl. So
My bad. You can do that if you want.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm
Give
going
it
to
to
go
us.
Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to go
Okay.
Bengals, and I'm going to go my Chicago Bears.
Oh,
So that's
Damn.
Oh my! Hold
I'm
on.
eating the
Back
hype.
up here.
Give me all the hard knocks. Give me Caleb Williams, everything you got. I'm taking it all.
And
Mitch, come on.
Hey,
I'll take the first 2. I would be okay with. I'm fine with that. You can't. Come on. Now it's like Caleb Williams saying, I want to win 8 Super Bowls." Yeah, you want to win 8 Super Bowls. Yeah, sure. But how about win an NFL game
who's
first?
going off top 3 teams doesn't mean they're going to make it, or who I think is. That's my top 3. I am eating it up as much as I can. Bears.
I know.
It's hard not to, right?
I'm a huge Bears fan too. I don't know if I can sit here and say that they're gonna be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous with all the hype around the Bears right now.
Oh, I'm
But,
100%. But I am just.
But I think
Super pumped.
potentially, yes, they could make some noise this year.
Well, I
mean,
think
they
that their division. I think
Their division's
It's
good, though.
tough.
but they'll match up.
Lions-
They should match up well. They should have a legit shot of winning their division. If
Could.
here's the thing, if Caleb Williams, again, you're talking about a rookie. We haven't seen
100%.
we haven't seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks come in and kind of do like that old school era, like Brady and those guys where they came out and won right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if he lives up to the hype, sure, I think they probably are a legit contender, but we're not going to know until we're not going to know until
Yeah.
I'm just going to get my heart ripped out. It's fine, but I'm just going to keep going
That's usually what
until the
happens.
season starts.
I want you guys. I hope you
Bucks.
guys have a good year. I want you guys to be good. I actually feel really bad for you guys. A lot of times I'm like, man, you just talk about, geez, how not even heartbreak. Like, damn. I mean, I still think Justin Fields could have very well been their long-term quarterback, but I don't think they put anything around him to
Well,
get
you'll find that out.
They did, and then they traded him. So
sure.
yeah,
They thought Chase Claypool was going to be an answer. It's like, well, you watched him in
Ah,
Pittsburgh. He did
jeez.
good for 1 year.
That's
Or
yeah, that was a
2 years.
Other my
bad,
Steeler
bad-
buddies said they go, if you can get him for that first year on the Steelers, awesome. If not, good luck.
Well, you know why?
Now he's going with the Dolphins, and he doesn't even.
I don't even think he plays. I don't think he's in the league.
He looks the part though.
Oh yeah,
Holy cow, that dude.
definitely looks.
Tell you what, 6'4", 225. He jumps out of the gym, but he's got to be like there. I read a lot of stuff when he was in Pitt. He was like off the field and stuff. He just had a lot of issues off the field, like locker room, and
Right.
and I think because his rookie year, I think he had like 10 or 11 touchdown catches with Ben that his rookie year.
Yeah, he killed it.
You know, they had a weak schedule that year though. Like they had, you know, one of the weaker schedules, but still, again, regardless, for a rookie coming in. But I honestly, when he went to Chicago, I was like, man, that's a guy they need. And God, he didn't. I mean, he didn't do anything.
He was bad.
Yeah.
I think I've said it on this podcast, and but I think the Bears could resemble like the Lions, what the Lions did
Last
this
year?
year,
Sure.
because they
Yeah.
like the Lions were kind of like the Bears were this year, and then the Lions took that step this year.
Hey, they were on Hard Knocks too.
Yeah, true.
They were on Hard
Sure.
Knocks as well.
Very true.
Be
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm calling the Bears and the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Ooh, let's go.
Justin Fields showdown with Caleb Williams.
Jesus.
Wouldn't that be something?
And we're all going.
All right.
Yeah, where's the
I'm
Super
in.
Bowl this year? You know?
Is it? I'm not sure. Good question. Super Bowl.
That's a bucket list of mine, going to a Super Bowl. So
Be cool.
It's in Caesar
I don't know.
Superdome. Oh, it's in New Orleans.
that's New Orleans. Yeah, never been to New
It's not-
Orleans.
It used to be what, Mercedes Benz?
It used to be Mercedes Benz. Yeah,
They didn't pay enough money to keep it.
guess not.
Oh man.
All right,
Bear down, baby.
Stenda, you got anything to end on before we sign off here?
Nope. I'm just gonna say bear down, baby. 2024-25
Love it.
season. Let's go.
Do you want Mitch and I to sing the song? Do you?
What song is that?
Bear
Down,
Oh,
Chicago Bears. You're
Oh
the
my
best
God,
in the land.
They need to
Maybe I'll
update
play
that
this now.
song.
Yeah, it's old. They talk about the T formation in that song. And
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
With your T formation. Yeah.
Well, you guys gonna do a
It's
Bears
fun
game?
when they score. So I'll take Knox and probably Shelby to at least one.
We'll probably go to one.
Yeah. Ticket
go
prices
to
right
one.
now are sky high though. Holy
I haven't
cow.
even looked.
Yeah. Yeah, they suck.
I went this past year and I ended up, it was just Knox and I got tickets like we were like 10 rows off the field.
Sure.
And the tickets were like $106 a piece, which I'm like, it's pretty decent price for those seats.
Yeah.
I looked up those same seats for like the Bears Patriots game, and they're at like 300 and some a piece right now. I'm like, not doing that.
Good thing we went.
Yeah. So I'm gonna wait, keep looking.
Wait till after the
Hopefully, they're either
second,
going to
third
go
week
up
when
or
they're
down,
0-3.
depending on how the
Right.
Bears are doing.
Yep,
So
Yep.
that's the problem.
wait till weeks 5 or 6 when they're 0-5. 0-6.
Come on. Come on.
Just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. All right.
All right. On that note, we got to sign off, Stenda. All right. So again, make sure you follow our pages. We will be off next week, correct, Stenda?
Yep.
You have a thing you're attending. So we're off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
We got a special guest. We have a guest lined up for that one.
Yeah, we do have a guest lined up for that. So
Clinton
hope
native.
everyone has a great 2 weeks. And we will check you later.
Mitch,
you
thanks
guys
for
can
coming
go
on.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, appreciate
having
it.
me. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Go enjoy
Peace.
some Keystones. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.